ready to be done for the day. We just want to bring the whole panel up. We're just going to ask one last question. So we have maybe 5–10 minutes max, but I was just going to ask one question. So if you guys could all just join up here. I had one last question I wanted to go through. It's sort of by way of a final wrap-up. I think in the hallway outside of that, people come in and say, hey, what's the one thing that you really want to get out of the day? And I got to say that, after asking this at 2 different kind of hallway breaks, the most frequent response was, hey, I really want to hear about what are the compelling new use cases for OpenFlow. That was a piece that I just kept hearing over and over through the day. So through the different presentations, I pulled out a total of 14 different use cases and themes. And I just wanted to read them through real quick. And I would ask, out of the ones that didn't come from your presentation, if you wouldn't mind just picking 1 or 2 that you think are particularly compelling. And we'll do this as sort of a wrap-up as a close. So I think the list that I got, Chris, from yours, router interconnect, shared port customer service provisioning, and cloud speed VPNs. Matt, on your side was the L2 cross-WAN provisioning, the NDVI case. And I'm kind of butchering the name of it, should a bit. Isolation with delegated administration, the PCI case. And acceleration and increase of quality of network automation. Paul, from your piece, I heard infrastructure as code. Sort of an integration to the tool chain of software. I heard disaster recovery. I heard decoupling IP addresses, of tenants' IP addresses from the underlying provider's L2, L3 design. And I heard customer management of their own VLANs and subnets. Yeah, Peter, from yours, I heard platform for automation. I heard the network underneath the DevOps movement. I heard program your own control plane. I'm kind of taking that from the code snippets that went up. And heard, again, the integration with software development toolchain. So now I just ask, if we want to, Paul, do you want to start? We can just go down the chain.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I think maybe because I've been personally involved in dealing with problems that arise from lack of good tools for engineering teams to be able to quickly spin up environments for development across, for IaaS technologies. Even though I talked about it, I'm going to kind of pick that one as I think the one that is just really exciting because it's going to implement, an order of magnitude more efficiency for our engineering groups, I think, to build new technologies. I think right after my talk, a gentleman from Motorola came up to me and was complaining about how, he has a significant automation set up in his IT environment for systems and things that, he can spin up, hundreds of systems in 5 minutes and have them be configured the way that he wants them to be configured. But he still has to wait for a few days for a VLAN to be provisioned for his network. And so I think, like you put up a slide that said, IT is too slow. I think that we're not quite there yet. I think there's a final missing piece where I think we need to continue, the push to provide all the tools that our development teams need to really kind of, like ultimately add value to our businesses. So I think that's the really exciting one for me.
I think the theme for me was network infrastructure software. I mean, I guess I hadn't really thought of it in that context, but I think that's pretty powerful.
Having built some pretty substantial non-California size things back east, it's pretty painful not having access to automation. I mean, it completely cripples your time to market. It cripples the size and scope of what you can actually implement and manage. It's not good. And so when I look at something like OpenFlow, I kind of shy away from the level of the conversation. It's like opcodes and machine level language and assembler. And like I don't kind of live down there. I kind of live up at the top where we deliver solutions and extend things and add to things. And the fact that there is this notion of openness with languages and tools where I can tap into a team of really good developers. They have to learn a lot about networking. I'm not taking that for granted, but the fact that I'm now software-based and not ASIC-based, that's pretty powerful. And I also mean no disrespect to the commercial companies that are here, and the guys that are in the tier 1 side, but the thing that I've really liked over the years is the rate of innovation around open projects is orders of magnitude higher than those that are not open. And so at the end of the day, Yeah, open source or open stuff can be less expensive, but it's all about the rate of innovation. Second thing is all about the cost. When you have to buy things that are very, very expensive capital equipment, your depreciation schedules can be as short as 5 years and as long as 7 years. And the killer there is, like, you get behind your competition really fast. If you can't refresh quickly, you're kind of stuck. And so the thing that's very attractive to me about more economical, more standards and less proprietary is every time a good idea comes out or a new innovation comes out or someone builds a new factory and I can go from 70 nanometer to 22, that's awesome. And so the less expensive it is, the higher the refresh rate. The higher the refresh rate, the more innovation and the more performance and capacity I can put in. So we end up spending about the same dollar per year, but the innovation rate is orders of magnitude different. So, but for me, open is just about being able to do much better things much faster.
So I'll take off. I think it's infrastructure as software, but I'll take off my technologist hat and I'll put on the person who is trying to service product management in service providers. And can you see a point in the future if we're talking about Eclipse toolkits today? And today we show code snippets. But at some point in the future, if you can model your network in even a higher level of abstraction and give someone, say a product manager, a Eclipse toolkit that implements network modules and allow them to string them together and build product, and hopefully get the same thing off of we're probably closer on the compute and storage side. And actually, instead of them bugging you constantly, say, here's your capability toolkit. If you can design the product that you want to sell with this, with the modules I've given you, if you want to create a new module, we have to have a talk about engineering costs and that kind of stuff. But if you can just create what you want, the modules we've given you here in this toolkit, go to it. I don't care. Decouple so the product, so you're not the long pole in their tent. They can't beat up on you saying that because engineering didn't respond fast enough, we didn't make our revenue numbers. There's the toolkit, guys. If you can model it in the tools, go do it. That to me is really interesting. Well, everybody, I'd ask you that you join me in a big round of applause for our speakers.
Can I just say a big couple of words?
Yeah, let them know that the drinks will start early. Everyone's almost ready. The food's coming. No, it's okay.
So I'm Guru Parulkar. I'm serving as the summit chair. I want to take a minute to thank Kyle and our speakers here. So I've been with OpenFlow and all of that for the last 4 or more years. And during the last 6 to 9 months, this has been the biggest challenge we have been facing, that what is the compelling business case? What are the compelling use cases? And Kyle and the team took on that challenge and spent a whole day telling you about what are the compelling use cases. And again, of course, they bring a lot of operational experience from the past. They yet don't have enough operational experience with OpenFlow and SDN. But still, based on their past operational experience, all their thinking about OpenFlow and SDN, what it can bring and its potential, to me at least was very exciting and very compelling. And hopefully we will see some of their dreams come true during the coming year. And the next time when we meet, we can talk about the real deployments and experiences as well. But with that, I want to thank again. Very nice job, well done. Thanks again. Bye-bye.